We all have yeast and dermatophytes and molds on our body all the time. Our immune system is used to that. It just fights them off. If it is strong enough, and if the environment around your tissue is normal, then your body can just fight funguses off like it's nothing. And so you have bacteria, you have fungus, you have virus, they're all over you all the time. And if that freaks you out, you got to get used to that. You got to just come to grips with that. You are covered both inside and outside with fungus, viruses, and bacteria. It's just part of being a human being. We can't help that. We all have yeast and dermatophytes and molds on our body all the time.
The largest habitat in the world, that is the ocean floor, seems to potentially be fully infused and dominated by fungal mycelium. That meaning that all the dead sea creatures and everything that sinks to the bottom of the ocean, quite potentially being dissolved, digested, and recycled, all digested and recycled, all digested and recycled by the fungal mycelium that permeates the ocean floor. And that is how nutrients are made available in the ocean and goes up the food chain and enabling it to begin and flourish. Again, embodying this principle that we will also continue to see of symbiosis. So by the fungal mycelium that permeates the ocean floor, and that is how the nutrients are made available in the ocean and goes up the food chain and enabling it to begin and flourish. Again, embodying this principle that we will also continue to see of symbiosis.
Mycelium is this network that grows from the tip, and it's at the tip where all the business happens, where the enzymes come out, where the information comes in, and the nutrients are absorbed.
So as fungi grow, they're constantly dissolving things with strong, potent acids. It enables them to break down rocks.
And they also break down organic matter with enzymes. So that's just a huge takeaway, is that fungi are critical to nutrient cycles. Fungal spores can even influence weather patterns, along with particles, but certainly the abundance of fungal spores that are in the atmosphere are likely the seeds and the starting points for cloud formation. Fungal spores often have, or mushroom spores especially, often have a little sugary coat that attracts water and condensation. And that helps initiate the formation of clouds. So the fungus itself actually helps produce the rains that it needs. Fungi are one of the primary instigators of life on this planet. Of course, everything in the world contributes to our ecological webs, but as we will see, fungi are these uniters. They are the connectors, they are the bridges. First, we start with thinking about, well, where did life originate? Fungi, crashing to the planet on a meteorite, because their spores can survive outer space. They started growing, eating all these dead bacteria, and then at some point, plant life developed. Well, plants and animals are also eukaryotes, so that's plants directly descended from fungi, a photosynthesizing bacteria. But we must follow the logic, is that definitely lichens at some point did arise, and they demineralized Pangea, demineralized the rock, and started dying and decomposing each other, basically building the first soils. So fungi here creating the first soils and penetrating into the terrestrial plane. However, plants arose, plants develop, they get more complex. Fungal associations stay with that, intimately tied to the development of life. Suddenly, out of nowhere, this organism developed. This giant organism was a fungal dominant sentinel that was degrading the other organic life forms and creating the ability for life to thrive. And if we look at animals then animals must have come from fungi too, or something like that. Living off all the dying plants and animals, that at the end of that whole event, warm-blooded mammals that were very much, just little rats and things, while the dinosaurs were dominating, the reason that they took over instead of reptiles taking back over is because their warm-bloodedness enabled them to fight off fungal infections, whereas reptiles, in that dark, cold period of the dust cloud covering the planet after a meteorite hit, the reptiles weren't able to get warm and weren't able to fight off fungal infections. So a lot of them died, and thus that's how mammals were able to come into dominance. That fungi are the generators of life. And this is seen throughout many cultures. Many cultures have recognized fungi as sort of connected to regeneration and life and renewal. Why do we fear fungi so much?
Think about that. It can't stop life. It can't stop life. The cosmos is a great living being which in turn gives life to all the lesser being it contains. The living cosmos, the primal mind, which is life and light. Atom, which is light and light. Atom. The cosmos is all life. From its first foundations, there has never existed a single thing which is not alive. There is not and has never been and never will be anything in the cosmos that is dead. Atom is life, the everlasting source of energy from which all life issues. And so it is impossible for it ever to stop or to be destroyed. The living cosmos, the primal mind, which is life and light. The living cosmos, the primal mind, which is life and light.